Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Chavetz Chaim in the Sefer HaMitzvos HaKatzar. We spent the last days in Mitzvah 44, the positive commandment to marry a wife with Kiddushin. We spoke about the first part of marriage, Erusin, the betrothal. Then we spoke about the Kiddushin, sanctifying and consecrating a wife. What happens if Rahman al-Itzlan lo aleinu, the marriage that everybody had all the greatest hopes for, the chassid and kala, the bride and the groom standing under the chuppah, looking at each other with those googly eyes and those big smiles, dreaming about the beautiful future that lays ahead of them. What happens if, unfortunately, for one reason or another, the marriage goes sour? And even though they go through all of the marital counseling and the therapy, and they work on themselves and they try to make things better, and the Rav is involved and he's counseling them as well, and he's giving advice to the wife, and he's giving advice to the husband, and she has her rebbetzin that she goes to, and the rebbetzin is telling her what to do to be a better wife and how to make your husband happier, and the husband is trying to be a better husband and make his wife happy. No matter what they try, to no avail. The marriage just does not work out, unfortunately. What happens then at that point? Says the Chavetz Chaim, "V'nitztavinu b'Torasena HaKadoshah." We are commanded in our holy Torah, "Sha'aroytz legash es ishtay." If a man wants to divorce his wife, because he finds something indecent about her, he must divorce her in only one way, and that's with something called a get. It is the writ of divorce, the divorce document. And this is the way that we do it in Klal Yisrael. It has to be done according to the customs of the Jewish people. Shenemar, like it says in the Torah, and it will be, she doesn't find favor in his eyes anymore. He found something that was unseemly about her. Because of la sefer krisus, he has to write for a sefer, a book of krisus, of cutting off, which means that is the bill of divorce. The husband, when something happens in the marriage that he feels is no longer appropriate for them to be married, and let's just bring it down to our generation, if the wife herself is also unduly pressured in this marriage and she also is not happy with what's going on, they have to work together, and of course that is where the Bezdin and the Rabbanim get involved to make things work in peace, that there should be shalom between them at the end. So then a get, the get has to be given. You can only have a get given to a woman who is being divorced by her husband if it's done by expert Rabbanim who know the nature of the get. They know the nature of the document, the way that it is written, the way that it is signed, the way that it is sealed, the way that it is given over. There are numerous halachas in a get, and it has to be done precisely, otherwise it is no good, and therefore the divorce will not take place. And that would mean that according to the letter of the law, she's still a married woman, and if she goes and has relations with another man, she gets married to somebody else, it would be like being married to two separate men, and that would be obviously a very big problem according to the Torah. Anyone who doesn't understand the details of Gittin, the details of the divorce document, even if he's a great expert in many other areas of the Torah, he knows how to learn up very well. Do not involve yourself in the halachas and in the practicality of writing a get. Why? There are many fundamental details in a get. If you're not an expert in them, it's most likely that you will come to make mistakes in what you're doing. And as we pointed out before, that means then that you are going to think that you are releasing a woman from the marriage, and in reality you're not, and she's still a married woman, he's still a married man, and it will create many difficulties, la halacha, in their lives, and according to the Torah. And he concludes, V'isha ra b'deyoseha, a woman who is not good b'deyos in her concepts. What does it mean, the concepts over here? It means she denies that there's a Ribono Shel Olam. So she doesn't believe in his Torah. She doesn't go around with tznius in a modest way like the Jewish women are supposed to go. So we're talking over here now, the Chavetz Chaim is just, he's laying it out on the line over here. that if you have a wife who is simply not holding up with Yiddishkeit, she's not holding up with Emunah, she doesn't believe in Torah or any of these things, all the more so if she refuses to go to the mikvah on a monthly basis, and she doesn't go, and perhaps she'll tell her husband, I went, but he finds out that she doesn't go, she doesn't keep the basic laws of Torah HaMishpacha, the laws of family purity, mitzvah legarsha, says the Chavetz Chaim. Again, we're talking over here in his days, in the way that it says in the Torah, and that there's a mitzvah to divorce this woman. Shenema, like it says, Garesh leitz v'yetze madain. It says, cast out the scorner, and the contention will go away. Now, we have to be very careful with these words in our generation because we're living in very precarious times. People get married and not everybody is religious at the time of the marriage. Sometimes you have one that's more religious than the other one. And we're a weak generation in general in our emunah. We are a weak generation in general in the way that we adhere and we believe and we uphold the Torah. And so too in the laws of tznius and the like. So before a husband who's hearing these words thinks about his own wife and says, I haven't heard her speak about Hashem very much lately. Actually, I heard her blasphemizing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't think she really believes in Torah because I want to send my kids to the Torah day school, and she says, no, they don't need Torah, we'll send them to public school. And tznius, she doesn't even know what the word modesty looks like. So you know what? And mikvah, she never met a mikvah that she liked. I don't even remember the last time she went to the mikvah. You know what? It's time to call the rabbi, let's get the get moving, and let's get divorced. It doesn't work like that, Rabbi Yisai. If you have issues in your marriage today, whether they be psychological, whether they be emotional, whether they be spiritual, physiological, financial, whatever the situation is, before you sign up with the Beis Din to get a get and divorce yourself, go speak to the people that can help you. Go speak to your rabbanim, go speak to your mentors, go find yourself a very good and qualified marriage therapist who will work together with you, not chalila, not work against you. Perhaps there's individual therapy that a husband needs or that a wife needs, or maybe both of them need, in order to make things work. I have seen miracles in front of my eyes with couples who walked into my office and they were on their last straw, ready to get divorced. They've been screaming to each other already for months or years that it's the end. And today, if you would see them on the street, I'm telling you, you would never know what they suffered in their marriage because they worked hard. They worked hard with proper advice. They worked hard with rabbanim. They worked hard with therapists and marriage counselors. And today, Baruch Hashem, they and their children are the beneficiaries. So please, don't hear these words and think you are justified to go and get the divorce that you've been contemplating in your mind for the last several months or years. Get the help that you need and get the help that you and your wife need together in order to make your marriage work. However, that being said, the Torah is not saying over here that you can never get divorced if the circumstances are extenuating to the fact that after you tried sincerely all of the efforts that were necessary to try to make this marriage work, you tried your hardest and she tried her hardest, and you put in the next 6 months of your life trying to get to the point of shalom, of peace between you. And after all that, the evaluation of the experts is no matter what the two of you are going to do, it's simply not going to work. So the Torah has given a way for a couple to divorce, and that is with the Sefer Krisos, that is with the get, the divorce document to do. But please, before you go for divorce, try to do everything that you can to make the marriage that was made in Shamayim, in heaven, try to make it work. And this is something that is applicable everywhere, all of the time. The marriage, the way that it's done according to Das Moshe V'Yisrael, according to the Torah, and the get, Rachman al-Litzlan, if it gets to that point, that is done according to Halacha. May we only know simchas, and may there be many, many more marriages, happy marriages of Shalom Bayis, peace, love, and harmony in Klal Yisrael, raising beautiful mishpachas of Torah Jews that will follow in the footsteps of Hashem and His Holy Torah. Have a wonderful day.